Investigators say a deadly plane crash in the French Alps was no accident. Investigators say the co-pilot locked the pilot out of the cockpit and intentionally crashed the plane. The cockpit voice recorder captured the sound of the pilot pounding and pounding on that cockpit. Well, once the plane reached cruising altitude, the pilot asked the co-pilot to take control as he went to the restroom. Well, when he returned, the 28-year-old co-pilot just would not answer.
Activated that button for reasons we do not know at all, but which can be analyzed as a willingness to destroy the aircraft.
150 people died, including 3 Americans. So we're joined with somebody who's had so much experience dealing with plane crashes, also the investigations. Aviation crisis consultant Ken Jenkins, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
When it's intentional, this is really tough to swallow.
It adds a whole new challenge and dimension to the airline and the investigators that are responding to the families in the aftermath of the accident.
And so there's no psychology test, right? I mean, emotional health is a big part of our health. Shouldn't this be a component?
Well, and you would think that it is, and it should be, and it is in the pre-employment process when you're being selected for hire, and the screening process is quite rigorous. But once you're selected and you become a pilot and or a flight attendant and you move through the system, then it stops at that point. You don't have those psychological follow-ups any longer.
Yeah, we were talking earlier, you said self-disclosure is a big part of it. You can just say, I mean, you can't say, hey, I don't have this tumor right here, but you can say, wasn't depressed. Nope, no suicidal thoughts. No, you know, it's up to you.
There's a reliance on the self-disclosure as part of the physical that the pilots take once a year. If they don't self-disclose it, then you wouldn't know.
You've talked to families, you know, years and years that have been through this. You said you talked to someone again today that 20 years ago lost someone in a plane crash. Is closure even a word that they even use? You know,
Shelley, and thank you for saying that. It isn't. It isn't.
Yeah.
There's healing and there's integration, but there's never closure. And when I called her this morning, because I asked her, I said, you know, when you went through this 20 years ago, it was an accident. How do you think family members are feeling today, knowing that the pilot intentionally did this? And she said the only good thing outside of the horror and the shock of it all is they have answers. And they're not going to have to wait a year or two to get those answers. They have them. Whereas the families of, say, Malaysia Flight 370, the plane that's missing, they don't have any answers.
Yeah, it's like it just went poof into thin air, and that's difficult.
And it's gone.
Yeah, so what is your biggest takeaway for these families? This news just blows my mind.
You know, what I've been seeing and what I find very refreshing, I guess, I don't know the word to use, is that Germanwings and Lufthansa Airlines has done an excellent job of reaching out to the families, of flying them to the accident site as close as they can get, having a site visit, a private location where the families can meet and be briefed by the French investigative authority. They have access to mental health care, spiritual care, child care, and they're taking care of their physiological needs as well. So all the things that are going through their mind on what they need to take care of, the airline tries to help through that so that the families can focus on what they want to focus on right now, and that's getting their loved ones back for burial.
And really, really fast, because we got to go to break. There are planes flying all the time. We keep hearing about these plane crashes. You start thinking, oh, should I get on a plane? But there's so few crashes when it comes compared to car crashes.
Exactly. It's the safest mode of transportation. It's still the safest mode of transportation. And I fly all the time. It's just as comfortable as being in my living room.
Okay, it's the unknown though, and someone you don't know in the cockpit. Interesting. Thank you so much. We appreciate your perspective.
Thank you.